Statistics is a discipline that concerns the collection, organization, analysis, interpretation, and presentation of data. In applying statistics to a scientific, industrial, or social problems, it is conventional to begin with a statistical population or a statistical model to be studied. Population can be diverse group of people or objects such as all people living in the country or every atom composing a crystal. Statistics deals with every aspect of data including experiments. This is the statistic of scatter plots are used in descriptive statistics to show observed relation between different variables here using the iris flower dataset. When census data cannot be collected, statisticians collects data by developing specific experiment designs and survey samples. Representative sampling assures that inference and conclusion can reasonably extend from the sample to the population as a whole. An experimental study involves taking measurements of steady under of system under study, manipulating the system, and then taking additional measurements using the same procedure to determine if the manipulation has modified the value of measurements. In contrast, an observational study does, does not involve experimental manipulation. Two main statistical methods are used in data analysis: descriptive statistics, which summarize data from a sample using index such as mean or standard deviation, and inferential statistics, which draw conclusions from the data that are subject to random variation. Descriptive statistics are often concerned with two set of properties of distribution. Central tendency seeks to characterize the distribution central or typical value, while dispersion characterizes the extent to which members of the distribution departs from its center and each other. Interference on mathematical statistics are under the framework of probability theory, which deals with the analysis of random phenomena. The standard statistical procedure involves the collection of data leading to the test of relations between two statistical data sets, or that data set and a synthetic data drawn from an idealized model. A hypothesis is proposed for the statistical relation between two data sets, and this is compared as an alternative to an idealized null hypothesis is done. Null hypothesis of no relation between two data sets. Rejecting or disproving the null hypothesis is done by using statistical tests that quantify the sense in which the null can be proven false. Given data that are used in the test, working from a null hypothesis, two bases of forms of error are recognized: type 1 error and type 2 error. Type 1 error: null hypothesis is falsified, rejecting giving a false positive, and type 2 null hypothesis fails to be rejected, and actual relationship between the population is missed, giving a false negative. Multiple problems can have come to be associated with this framework, ranging from obtaining a sufficient sufficient sample size to specify an adequate null hypothesis. Measurement processes that generate statistical data are also subject to the error. Many of the errors are classified as random or systematic, but other type of error can also occur. The presence of the missing data or censoring may result in the biased estimate, and specified specific technique has have been developed to address the problems. Consumer goods. Consumer goods are products bought for consumption of average consumers. Alternatively, final alternative called final goods. Consumer goods are the result of production and manufacturing and are what what a consumer will seek stock on for self. Clothing, food, and jewelry are the example of consumer goods. Basic or raw materials such as copper are not considered as consumer goods because they must be transformed into usable products. Application of statistics in fashion. Fashion is a means of expressing oneness. Without it, we would be just another cog in wheel, largely industry indistinguishable from one another. And as you will find out in-depth fashion industry statistics, it also exhibits one's beliefs and values, particularly about the environment. Fashion industries represents numerous niche industries that are constantly growing, especially in the era of interest bloggers and influencers. Hence, in article, will develop will delve deeper into the core deeper into the very core of fashion industry, including its overall market share, demographic, future market trends, and more. Fashion industry statistics for 2021 Capital Council Fashion industry statistics 31 absolutely stunning fashion industry statistics and facts. Milika Arsenic January 29, 2022. Fashion is means of expressing oneness. Without it, we would be just another cog in wheel, large, indistinguishable from one another, and as you will find it, particularly about the environment, the fashion industry represents numerous. The average fashion designer in the US makes around $18.62 per hour. Companies that promote diversity attain 19% higher revenues than those that don't. The fashion industry is accountable for 8 to 10% of overall greenhouse gas emission. The global fast fashion market witnessed a 12.32 percentage decline in 2020. Fashion industry statistics confirm the global apparel market should reach $635.17 billion in 2021. Women's wears in the best-selling apparel category global. Its 2021 revenue amounts to $876,710 million. 35% of millennial and 36% of Gen Z consumers prefer buying sustainable and environmental friendly clothing. Professional models in US earns an average salary of $108,000 per year. The spring 2021 season, there were 41.3% of non-white model appearance. Ford is a company that gives a higher salary to professional models, $217,298. General fashion industry statistics. The average fashion designer in US makes around $18.62 per hour. Indeed, the fashion industry presents a lots of job opportunities from design, marketing and publicity of styling and retail, most of the which are well paid. When it comes to design itself, the average annual salary is $51,780 or $3,666 per month. On the note, if you have ever wondered that what are highest paying jobs in fashion, the answer is designer director. Design directors are makes 9,048 per dollars per month or 1,27,798 per year. In 2019, over 1.8 million people were employed in fashion sector in US. Just how much is a fashion industry worth in 2019? 2 years ago, the fashion industry reached a mind-blogging $2.5 trillion. In fact, more about 380 billion was spent solely on apparel and footwear in US alone. In Europe, as much as 15 kg of textiles is wasted per capita. The fast fashion is presenting a huge ecological problems for the entire planet, namely in the industries clothing products are manufactured so rapidly, focusing on quality rather than quantity rather than quality. Hence, a few problems arise. For instance, fashion-based statistics shows that the most of discarded textiles end up in landfill instead of being recycled, which is not most environment-friendly approach. Yet another problem is the cheap use of cheap labors as well as child labors to develop products. For companies that promote diversity attains for 19% higher revenue than those that don't. It was not until the world renowned singer singer Beyonce pointed out how representation was important that brands started paying more attention to diversity. For example, US fashion industry statistics reports that Kering is one of those brands. By 2018, 56% of managerial positions were filled by women. 33% made up an executable committee and woofing 64% of the company's board of directors were in fact women. Amango Amancio Orgita is one of the world's wealthiest clothing retailer with a net worth of 81.5 billion. Facts on the fashion industry shows that the co-founder of Inditex, Zara Fashion Seconds, owns 60% of the company. That means Orgito is owner of 8 brands like Pull and Bear, and Massimo Dutti, and 7,500 stores worldwide. The fashion tech industry is accountable for 8 to 10% of overall greenhouse gas emission. If we integrate international flights and maritime shipping, the fashion tech industry will still be harmful. And when it comes to gas emission, indeed, the apparel industry is the world's second largest consumer of water. Keeping in mind that the fashion industry is also accountable for 24% of insecticides and 11% of pesticides. The fashion industry is worth 759.5 billion. When we look at e-commerce market, it predicted to be worth over 1.002 trillion by 2025. Apparel, footwear, and accessories are the number one e-commerce sector globally. China has the highest revenue in fashion market, 284.3 billion, followed by US, 126.5 billion dollars, for UK 32.5 billion, Japan 23.9 billion, and Germany 22.5 billion. Tuition fees for Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City will set you back $2,645 per semester. Based on the Fashion Institute of Technology admission statistics, the school tuition fees are quite large. That is 2,645 per semester for state residents and $7,935 per semester for out of state resident. If you belong to a bank that offers good saving and loan option for students, you should be at ease with the fees. As we already noted, the fashion industries are the highly paid, so it's no surprise that many young people decide to pursue a mentioned sector career in mentioned sector. Application of statistics in jewelry. The world market for jewelry has been dominating the apparel industries for the last few decades. Diamonds are the forever, and the fashion jewelry industry will have a bright and shiny future. This is the reason why largest jewelry companies never cease to invest in opening brand new stores across the world. In the end, it seems that the diamond and jewels are indeed a girl's best friend. That's why we decide to take a closer look at latest jewelry trends for 2020 and see where industry is heading. Sparkling jewelry industry statistics. The global jewelry market is expected to reach almost $307 billion by 2026. In 2021, the online jewelry and watch sales markets will reach will reach 7.6 billion in US. China is at the top when it comes to demand for gold jewelry. The demand was 83.8 tons in 2016 and has kept growing ever since. The jewelry and personal luxury goods industry submitted a decrease of 35% to 39% in 2020. LVMH, a most Hennessy Louis Vuitton is number one jewelry company in the world. Its revenue of 2017 was estimated to be $52.9 billion, and every year it keeps on growing even more. The most expensive and most popular jewel in the world is the Hope Diamond, a 45.52 carat blue stone worth $250 million. The most valuable gemstone in the world are Tannasite, Black Opal, Ruby, Alexandrite, and Emerald. The global jewelry market is expected to reach around $307 billion by 2026. According to Statista, the global jewelry market was valued at approximately 228 billion in 2020. Estimations show that the market will grow by 35% by 2026. According to jewelry industry statistics of 2018, US jewelry stores generated 39.7 billion in sales. Jewelry store industry statistics shows that the 2018 was a fruitful year in jewelry world. The global market size was valued at a whopping 279 billion and projected to grow even more. What's more, 2018 was all about innovation and novelty for some companies. There were a great structural struggle to stay on the top of the game, grabs customers' attention, and stand out from the competition while keeping up with the current trends. For example, Tiffany and Co. introduced a unique design in engagement rings which differed markedly from its previous collection and style. Once Pantone released its color palette, it was clear to color purple and would dominate throughout the year. It was quite the blue rain with ultraviolet, spring crocus and pink lavender also parts of mix. Jewelers had a really fun time mixing and matching all different hues and gemstones and shapes. According to Jewelry Industry Statistics 2019, the luxury group LVMH bought Jiffy and Co. for $135 per share. Transaction was approximately 16 billion. The decision by LVMH to buy Tiffany and Co. left a clear mark on 2019. In fact, the 2019 jewelry market analysis showed that by acquiring Tiffany and Co., the LVM group increased its presence in the sector considerably. Here are some significant statistics for 2019. The purchase of watches went by 5%. The Mintel, a top jewelry market research provider, estimated that two-thirds of the population bought jewelry or a watch for themselves or a friend in 2019. Watches and costumes jewelries were two most popular categories when it comes to personal purchases. The introduction of piercing studios in jewelry stores was a major step in 2019. Some of the pioneers were Astrid and Mew, followed by Ginny Hall, Accessorize, and Larry and Berry. Necklaces held the throne as the most popular piece of jewelry in 2019. There was a remarkable rise in purchase of men's jewelers. Branded jewelry was accounted for up to 40% of market in 2020. Experts claim Experts claim 2020 was all about rise of branded jeweler. The main player are also likely to change. Up until recently, Pantro, David Uriman, Cartier, and Tiffany and Co. dominated the sector. In 2020, high-end fashion houses entered the fray as like Dior, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, and others started slowly introducing jewelers as part of their brand. So we expect the jewelry industry growth rate to double thanks to the presence of such major fashion players and the rise of jewelry technology, especially artificial diamonds. So far, we learned that about the trend of last 3 years, but uh, what about the state of jewelries in 2021? Estimate for the jewelers and personal luxury goods industry suggested a possible decrease by 35% to 39% in 2020. As a shocking it as it as shocking as it may sound, things are getting better. The industry expects a rebound in 2021 and 1 to 4 percentage growth. One of the sector that experienced growth and helped the industry land on its feet was definitely jewelry e-commerce segment. Online jewelry industries and e-commerce global markets. The size of online jewelry and watch sales market in 2021 will reach 7.6 billion in US. According to the one online jewelry sales statistics, some of most successful online jewelry retailers are Gamies, Allen, Super Bowl Jeweler, Blue Nile, and Rose Simmons. They generate about 45% of their profits through web sales. Interestingly, the most searched for items in 2020 were silver anklets with a 108% growth. The global jewelry is valued at 348.5 billion per year. In economic terms, the global jewelry market is equal to the GDP of South Africa, the 32nd largest economy in the world. Now, according to the latest global jewelry industry statistics, the top countries that go for the fashion industries are the US, India, China, Hong Kong, and Japan. When it comes to purchasing luxury jewelry, the US also dominates, followed by France, Japan, China, and Italy. Out of 348.5 billion annual spent on jewelry, about 41 billion is spent on luxury jewelry, including gemstones and precious metals. Conclusion: the statistical techniques are used in a wide range of type of scientific and social research, including biostatistics, computational biology, and computational science, psychology, network biology, social science, sociology, and research. Some fields of inquiry uses applied statistics so e- extensively that they have specialized terminology. These disciplines include actuarial science, accesses risk in insurance and finance industries, applied information economics, astrostatics, biostatics, chemometrics, data mining, data science, demography, econometric, energy statistics, engineering statistics, epidemiology, geography and geographic information systems, specifically in spatial analysis, image processing, geometric, medical statistics, political science, psychological statistics, reliability, engineering, social statistics, statistical mechanics. Thank you for listening.